Welcome once again to pizza class. Today we're going to be making a spinach, feta cheese, and sun-dried tomato pizza. It's a favorite of our families and I hope you enjoy it too. As we always do, we'll begin by talking about equipment and ingredients. And this one's easy, really no special equipment required. We don't need much other than our pizza screen and our peel for taking the pizza out of the oven. But when it comes to ingredients, we'll go over those first. The first thing we do is get our hands on some fresh baby spinach. So this is just right out of the store. I've rinsed it and washed it, but it's basically fresh. I like baby spinach. The other ingredient is sun-dried tomatoes. I like to use sun-dried tomatoes that come in olive oil. They don't dry up as much on the pizza. They retain some of their moisture when you go to eat the pizza, and so I actually like that more. You can use the ones that are completely dry in pouches that you buy at the store, but I prefer the ones that are julienne cut inside of olive oil. Julienne cut just makes it easier to spread them around on the pizza. Also, we have feta cheese. We have crumbled feta cheese here. Nothing special about that. Just make sure that there aren't too many large chunks in there because we're going to spread that onto our pizza toward the end. And olive oil, because we're going to go ahead and make our garlic infused olive oil again for this. So we're going to take just a few tablespoons of olive oil, and just about 2 tablespoons, and add to that some minced garlic. I like to use minced garlic. You can use roasted garlic or fresh garlic even if you'd like. And of course, I like to add a pinch of sea salt to that olive oil and garlic, and we'll place that in the microwave for about 30 seconds to get that flavor to release, or stovetop in a frying pan. We've got our garlic infused oil and a little special ingredient. I like to have just a small bowl of either raisins, or these are cranberries that are just dried cranberries. It just gives a little surprise bite every once in a while on the pizza. It's optional. It's just a little trick I like to include. So the base for this pizza is actually going to be the olive oil and garlic. So that will be, there really isn't any sauce on this pizza except for the olive oil. So then we'll just, we'll begin prepping the pizza at this point because that's all the ingredients that we really need. So let's get our dough ready. And this dough was created a couple of days ago in preparation for use today, and you can see how to make this dough in our class on pizza dough. We have 2 methods for making pizza dough, a basic and an advanced version. This one's been let out to come to room temperature. You can see that there are it's nice and workable, lots of air inside of there. So we're gonna dip that in our bucket of either semolina, or I like to use Caputo 00. Just a nice fine ground flour. Lots of air in this guy, just fine. We just let it come to room temperature, and it's been out for a little while, so we got nice workable crust here. We're gonna work our way around the edge as we have been in some of these other prep videos. This method is really the same for almost any pizza. So for some of the specialty types, where we're gonna use our fingertips to work the crust, and then we're going to form the middle. And at this point, just about ready to stretch this guy. Got a nice crust there going. And we need our pizza screen. Set that there, and we'll just begin to work this with our hands. Again, we're making a fist, upside down fist. We're going to use that to stretch the edge. I like to kind of use my thumbs a bit. I work around the edge of that dough. And we want to do that to try to get this as even and round as we possibly can. Some guys will toss the dough at this point. I might do that in a future video, but for this, we're just gonna, since this dough is so soft today, don't want to take a risk of tearing that dough. Also, I always get flour in my eyes when I toss it. So usually save that for when there's an audience. So there's our nice pizza dough, and again, this is about a 310 gram dough ball. You'll get used to the size of dough balls that you like to cook with. You can start off with that size, and if it's not big enough or if not thick enough, you can adjust that size. So again, we've got our garlic infused olive oil ready to be put on as the base. Just stir that up a bit, and I'm going to spread that around and just literally use olive oil for the bottom of this pizza. Doesn't need to be much, but that does create a nice base for us. And I'm just going to go ahead and use my hands to spread that so that you get a fairly even coating of olive oil and garlic on the base of this pizza. Almost making a garlic toast type of flavor here. So I'm going to take, again, just to give some flavor to this, I'm going to take a pinch of sea salt, go around the bottom there. You could use garlic salt if you really like garlic. I think the fresh garlic is enough here, but you could do that for sure. And now we're going to take our fresh spinach and just spread it around there. One thing about spinach, when it gets hot in an oven, it shrinks, so you can be really liberal with the fresh leaf spinach on a pizza. It won't look weird when it comes out of the oven. Some of these stems you might want to pick off so they don't taste weird or stick out on the pizza. Break those off, shred this up a bit. So our next ingredient is messy. These julienne cut sun-dried tomatoes, because they're in olive oil, I usually just dump a bunch out. They're very messy, but that's okay. This is a messy pizza. Liberally spread these around the pizza. This gives it a lot of its flavor. And there's some more seasoned olive oil in this. So that's why I went a little light on the base, because we'll probably pick up some more oil from these guys as we place them on there. And I'm using easily half of this jar. I could have put those under the spinach too. It really doesn't matter, but I like them on top. I like them to get a little more heat. And next up is our crumbled feta cheese. It's going to give it both color and a little punch. This cheese goes great with the flavors that we've picked for this pie. And I'm using about a little under a half cup. You can just go until it looks good to you. That's just about right. Now, some of my cranberries, and again, this is just a little extra. It's a little punchy taste that people find fun for this pizza, and I like to include it. So that is our feta cheese, sun-dried tomato, and spinach pizza, and this guy is ready for the oven. Okay, we've got our sun-dried tomato, spinach, and feta cheese pizza ready for the oven here. This oven has been preheated for well over an hour, and it's up to 480 degrees at a minimum. I'm gonna slide this guy in here just like so. Close the door quickly. Keep it closed for the entire length of the baking so that the hot air does not escape and it's able to do its job. We're gonna set a timer for 8 minutes and we'll see you then. So we're ready to take this guy out of the oven. Let's check the bottom of that crust, and boy, that looks just about perfect. There's our spinach and sun-dried tomato pizza just out of the oven. So here's our crust, just perfectly brown, and you can hear the crisp even as I lift up on that guy. We're ready to cut this delicious pizza. You can see how the spinach has totally cooked down, and that's just gonna make a tremendous flavor. Spinach, sun-dried tomato, and feta cheese. Voila. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of Pizza Class, and I hope you enjoy this pizza.